Welcome back to OPA Podcast, episode 72. Today we are recapping Michigan State and previewing the next home game versus the Fighting Illini. I'm one of your hosts and producer, Jason O, joined with Soup
It's soup season at least.
and Wyatt.
Yo, 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 yo.
Griffin will jump on in a moment. He is on his way home from work. But boys, to get started, our Golden Gophers won 27-12 over Michigan State. And I think that's the largest margin in Big Ten play this season, if I'm correct.
Didn't we get
For
blown
Minnesota.
For Minnesota
40?
this season, yeah.
I was about to say, didn't we just get blown up by like 42 2 weeks ago?
Well, this is the
gonna
largest
say-
margin we won.
For us
Yes.
in Big Ten play. Okay, yeah.
I was like, not in all of Big Ten play, because Michigan has been very good.
Very true.
For no reason at all. No reason.
For
Don't worry about it.
I can think of no reasons that
Don't
Michigan
worry
would be
about
good.
it.
But going on from there, we'll just go with each the thirds of the team. So offense here, big names: Jordan Newman, walk-on, redshirt sophomore, the younger brother of Tyler Newman.
The better Newbin, according to Tyler.
According to Tyler, correct. Rush for a total of 204 yards on the ground.
How many carries, Jason?
40 carries.
Blech. But okay.
Yeah,
Continue.
Black, but like again, amazing, and he scored 2 touchdowns that day. And quarterback Ethan was I think if I remember this right, 14 of 22 passing, over 200 yards in the air. Did have 1 touchdown to Daniel Jackson and 1 turnover with that interception, but also Ethan was the one who fumbled the ball in the first quarter as well. But I think let's touch on that first. The Gopher offense turned over the ball 3 times, 2 of them being in our own between the 20 and 30s.
I mean, we can just start with here are the Gophers' first 5 drives of the game: fumble, punt, missed field goal.
And that missed field goal was a great block too. Like the guy,
Yeah,
those linemen got their hands up, but
yeah, Dragon, fine. Dragon every once in a while gets a little bit on top of the ball when he's like trying to drive it really. So I think those happen when he just like tries a little too hard to like kick it into the quote like whatever win there is. He just tries to drive it through and then he just gets a little too much on top of it. It happened at Iowa last year. I don't know. I'm not worried.
yeah. But not a great start. Like I'd say maybe for like the like first one and one quarter, like 1.5 quarters. So the first quarter and half maybe of the second quarter, the Gophers did not look too hot. But then we go to, so it's like we're down 0-6, and then we kick a field goal. So the second field goal of the night for the Gophers, which we made. And then in the last 2 minutes, we score a touchdown, Daniel Jackson, to make it 10-6 into the half.
Daniel Jackson also just cooking right now.
Yeah, can we just give a shout out to him? Like, that was a extremely well played game for him. Well deserved. He deserves everything, man.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting to think about. You go back, you think about the first game, right? And he makes this incredible play at the end of the game, and you're like, wow, I hope, we can keep that up all year. That was a great game from him, he was there when we needed him. The answer was yes, basically. That's just Daniel Jackson. That's just what he does. I mean, I would challenge you to name 5 better receivers than him in the Big Ten right now. I think he's a top 5 receiver in the Big Ten. I don't particularly think that's debatable.
But also his handwork, though, because like I know we want to talk about the touchdown, but if you look at the other plays throughout the game, where he was, I think it was single coverage, but the safety was coming, so he looked double covered on the TV broadcasts, and Daniel just catches that ball, and remember, and from the rewind, like from the sideline ground footage, it bobbles into his chest, and he still like holds it on with his like elbows and keeps it on his body and arms until he lands for that completion too. And it was an amazing catch. So like I think we love Daniel Jackson, and here is Griffin. Say hi, Griffin.
Hello, everybody.
We're talking about our love for Daniel Jackson and the touchdown he had and other catches throughout the game.
It's almost like if you throw him a pass between the safeties, he can do work.
Yeah. I think the thing with him is he's like Daniel Jackson's a complete receiver. You know what I mean? He's not that guy who just wins one or two ways. He's a complete receiver. He can beat you any day, any way, any day, right? Griff, I said this before you hopped on, but Daniel Jackson, top 5 receiver in the Big Ten.
Easy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Easy. I think he's like
fifth. I can't even think of. I can't think of 5 to even dispute it.
Right? It's Maserati Marv, Ibuka. Then you've got like Roman Wilson, I guess, the Michigan guy. And then I'm probably forgetting somebody else, and people are like, "Oh, you're so dumb. You forgot this guy." I don't care. Daniel Jackson is at least number 4 or 5.
And we haven't even used him to like his full potential. Like he could be doing so much more damage. We just don't have the right play calls.
Yeah,
that we're calling. We have the plays, we just don't have the calls.
Well, again, I don't think that's the play caller who's not calling them. I think I don't know. I'm like really happy for Jordan Newben, obviously. Like this is great. This is awesome. It's nice also at this position to like constantly just have guys who can do it, and that's very nice. But I think at some point we have to talk about the inability to find an efficient balance of carries for guys, especially when you have probably, you could argue, 3 running backs that should be involved at all times, almost.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if you look at, like, if you're coming into the game, which we were a bit concerned about, so coming into this game, Darius Taylor was out towards the end of the Iowa. Yeah, Iowa. I'm so tired. At the end of the Iowa game, and then Zach Evans walks out with an injury, I think, in the third quarter, and comes back in a boot and not in pads anymore. So like our running back room is very light. Again, we have Jordan Newben, who at the start of the season,
Yeah, you're on RB5.
yeah, RB number 5, and then Sean Tyler, who's supposed to be who was originally the de facto number 1 because of his ball security issues, and also I think this misuse of him, has not seen the field.
Yeah, and I mean, with Sean Tyler, like, I don't understand why they try to make him an inside runner. They're insisting on running him between the tackles, and I do not get it. Like, I think that has something to do with the fumbling issues, because you're running him into the biggest, strongest guys on the defense every play, and I just don't think he's ready for that, and I don't think he's built for that, and I don't think that's his game. But he had like 1,000 yards last year at Western Michigan. That doesn't just happen, you know?
And then I think outside of those two, because like we all, I think Wyatt clarified, but I think with Tyler getting essentially being in the doghouse for fumbling in this game versus Michigan State, you see Jordan Newben, oh Lord, 40 carries, and somehow he's not hurt at the end of the game.
It's incredible that we can have this many running backs. Kind of like Soup mentioned, just the inability to like call or find a balance, because it's like there's no reason. I don't care who it is. You should not have a running back with 40 carries in one game. Like in the fourth quarter,
Derrick Henry doesn't get 40 carries in one game.
Right. It's like if you're 8 minutes left in the fourth and you're up by 2-3 possessions, there's absolutely no reason for Newben to keep getting all these carries. Like I love that he's getting the reps and the numbers and the yards, like whatever. That's all great. But I'd love to. What's also great is not having to be on your RB5.
It's not sustainable just for your roster. Think about it, you guys. Like, ever since Muhammad Ibrahim went down with that Achilles injury against Ohio State, that room has been kind of banged up. Like since then, it's never really 100% healthy except to start the season. And I think that's because, like, look at Darius Taylor. Like, he was unreal the first 2 games, but on carry 31 at Northwestern, he gets hurt, you know? And I just think it's a detriment to the room, and they clearly have depth there that they can use to not find an efficient split for these guys. And I think, again, I think PJ has his hands in this like he has his hands in the offense in general. Like, I think Greg Harbaugh is probably pissed that Sean Tyler keeps fumbling the ball, but I think Greg Harbaugh understands that you can't just keep giving guys 30, 40 carries a game because PJ's been doing this the whole time he's here. And I think it's really starting to creep up as an issue when you're not going to have somebody like Mo Ibrahim to cover you up because of how durable he was. And even then, like, this room it was beat up last year, even without him, the same thing. You're down to like Trey Potts, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I will say if I have to be like the vice versa though, the season when Mo went down, so he tore his Achilles against Ohio State the first game, and we had the thrust Kai Thomas and Bucky Irvin who are no longer with the program because when Trey and Mohammed were coming back for the 2022 season, so in 21, I thought their carries were even between the two backs for Bucky and Kai. But then, like, I don't know where that went. Like, was that maybe Mike Sanford biting back saying, no, we need to split the carries versus, say, Shiraka and Harbaugh? But I don't know. Again, like you said, Soup is likely PJ with his hands all over. But I think that was the one season outside of rest of PJ's tenure where, like, you have a bell cow running back running over 30 carries a game. And I agree, it's not sustainable. I hate seeing. I personally and all of us fans don't want to see guys hurt, and we still got 4 games left, and especially with the West still up for grabs for us. Like, you guys check recently, we're tied for first with Iowa, Wisconsin, and Nebraska for first for the Big Ten West. And I am getting a little crazy, like think we have a chance. But also,
it's not crazy. Like mathematically, they're
it's possible.
Their chances are good.
But then it doesn't help when your running back room is banged up. Plus, I think they did better. Like, I don't know with this game too. Ethan we only threw the ball 22 times as well. So again, it's more running than passing this last game as well, despite us going 27-12. Like, I did like the fourth quarter when we kept on the gas a little and actually scored. But other than that, it's like, no, I don't want to see this. Or we don't want to see this.
The place where I really see the issue here is that distinction of, well, you're throwing 22 passes in the game, and then Jordan Newman is running 40 times, and the yardage total accumulated from those 22 passes is almost identical to the yardage total you're getting from all 40 of those runs.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
it's a great point. Like, just if you look
what
at it from
gives
like,
here?
I don't know, but
It's
like
not
even when you
efficient.
look at it at the efficiencies perspective, right? You're walking with me right to it. Their
Yeah.
EPA, it's not good. Like,
And it's something that I've been thinking about since you sent that whatever last EPA thing that you sent. It's just the inefficiency of the running game. It, like, we look at these numbers, and I'm sure PJ's pointing to these numbers and saying, I have guys putting up 200 yards half the time. But you're having guys put up 200 yards on 40 or 50 carries. Yeah, and like you've said, it's not sustainable. It's not efficient. And our passing game just showed it can put up 200 yards on half the attempts. So why isn't Ethan throwing the ball 10 more times a game?
And if you go look at like Stats Award, I don't know if you guys go to CFB graphs and all. They do a net success rate every week, and the Gophers like barely were positive in success rate on the net with Michigan State. Like they were towards the bottom of the list for the week for all of college football in that metric. And it's because of this inefficiency that we're talking about when it comes to the running game. And I just, it's really aggravating, Wyatt, like you said, just to like keep watching it happen basically over and over and over again. Like of the teams who had positive net success rate and won, we were like bottom 5 in the country. Like one of the last 5 teams in the country to have a positive net success rate and win. And it's
we're probably down there with like Iowa.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're the only college offense, it said, that hasn't scored in their opening possession. It said that on TV.
Yeah, at a point you have to like acknowledge that there's a problem, and I think
I
that
just don't think he thinks it's a problem.
I think that PJ is getting away with it because he's he wins an important game every year. He wins Wisconsin or he wins Iowa, and sure, that's great. We love that, but you came to this team to put us in the conversation for Big Ten championships. So you gotta do something with this offense besides just pound the rock 50 times a game inefficiently.
To what you're talking about, yards per play, rushing the ball for this game, 5. Pretty good, right? Yards per play passing, 7.
Better.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting to also note that there's this statistic of stopped runs, which is runs where you gain less than or equal to 2 yards. 35% of the runs less than or equal to 2 yards.
Ooh.
And only 48% of your runs are considered successful plays where your EPA is over 0. So, I don't know. I mean, it's worse passing numbers wise, but I really keep coming back to this thing that I think the passing game is so bad because they just don't do it. They just don't have enough reps, and it's a young team, and I think you see on both sides of the ball guys getting better with reps, except for the passing game. The passing game is not allowed to have any reps. Second carry of the game, Sean Tyler fumbles, right, guys?
Yep.
I jokingly, I think I probably put it in our chat, but I texted some friends too, and I said, so we're going to throw the ball 50 times now, right? Because we fumbled on the second play of the game. We made a mistake. We go away from it, right?
Yeah.
No. No, not when it comes to the running game. No, we're fine. Keep trying that until you eventually grind them down and it works. But with the passing game, it's, we made a mistake. Why do it?
I don't know. Why would you?
And I do also want to note too with the passing game, like again, Ethan looked efficient. Like obviously
Probably had his best half of the year.
Yeah, and then also Brevin wasn't dropping passes like crazy, like the last 6 games too. Like he actually
started to see it.
Yeah, like he's seeing what he's doing and is actually reeling in these receptions. Same with Corey Crooms and then Daniel Jackson being D-Jack. Like we have like it's also interesting too. Like PJ preaches like, oh, I'm a former wide receiver. I care a lot about the development of my receivers. If you really do, then why the hell do we not have 1,000-yard receiver in D-Jack by the half of the season, maybe more, right? Because like we had that with Tyler Johnson and Rashad Bateman. Can't you not do it again? But again, low volume
And
of us throwing.
Is Daniel Jackson not his guy?
It is
Is
his
Daniel
guy.
Jackson PJ's guy?
He is.
Then what's going on? Explain it to me, PJ.
The Gophers' success rate when Jordan Newman touched the ball yesterday, 50%. The Gophers' success rate when Daniel Jackson touched the ball last game, 100%. Jordan Newman added 11% of win probability was added by Jordan Newman. Daniel Jackson on 7 touches added 34% of your win probability.
You can't see me because I'm off camera, but I'm just shaking my head like, what the hell, PJ?
Just like, how can you be okay with this?
Like,
How is this acceptable?
the thing is like, because he's winning games, he does not view this as a problem. His job is to win football games by any means necessary. This is the way he thinks he can do it because, let's be real, Ethan does make mistakes. He makes multiple mistakes.
Yep.
In this game that cost them not only points, but points the other way, and, field position that is a huge thing for them. And the thing about the passing game is, yes, it's much more explosive and it's much more efficient in general than just running the ball. But it also is explosive the other way, right? Like, if you make a mistake in the passing game, it is much more magnified than it is in the running game. But, like, PJ doesn't realize that the inverse of that is also true. Of that, if you make splash plays on the passing game on your side, it's much more impactful than the running game is. It's not an efficient way to win football games, but he doesn't care about that. He cares about winning the game that's in front of him every week, and that's just how he looks at it. And, maybe one day we'll come around to, okay, well, we also need to be efficient, but we're not. And, like, he knows this. He's not dumb.
No, we know he's not dumb.
He's not dumb, but he is stubborn.
Yeah. And I mean, their EPA without explosive plays was worse passing than it was running yesterday. And, so, like, I get it. Like, I understand this game, the way it played out. Like, it makes a lot of sense when you step back and you look at it as one game and you say, it makes a lot of sense. Ethan had a fumble earlier in the game, threw a bad pick in the red zone, So you threw it. So you decided, okay, we've ground these guys down. Your offensive line, by the way, amazing game. You're basically getting 2 free yards from your offensive line in every run this last game.
Excellent.
And they were phenomenal. Shout out true freshman Greg Johnson. But you can see in a single game vacuum that it makes sense the way this one played out, where they had some hiccups in the passing game. It was there when they needed it before the half to get some big points, and it was there towards the end of the game when you needed it to put the game away. But in the middle there, you limited your mistakes. You just ran the game out basically against a team that you were dominating physically. That makes sense. The problem is, it's every game that you try and do this. You don't do anything else, right?
No, absolutely.
And it's hard because, I want to sit here and, give kudos to the team for winning the game and the offense for doing well. Ethan playing very, very well outside of, a couple young mistakes that we all knew we were going to see this year. Daniel Jackson being incredible. And, the offensive line absolutely dominating a team, a division team with, Michigan State's got a good front four, and we pushed them around in the second half. But it's just, the rug's going to come out from under you at some point,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the offense. You guys okay? Move on to the defense and special teams. Going once, twice.
Yeah, I suppose.
Looking at the defense, great game from them again too. Like after the bye, I don't know what Joe Rossi did.
Chef Rossi.
Honestly, like again, we had 2 turnovers in our zone, which gave Michigan State's offense great field position, and they only kept them to 2 field goals. And then when they,
that's the game. That's the entire game.
Yeah.
Right there. You basically give them 14 points on a platter if they can move the ball a total of 40 yards, and they can't do it.
and then they're the only touchdown Michigan State scored to make the game, I think it was 12 to like 15, 16 by that point, I believe, was their true freshman or redshirt freshman quarterback, Levitt, who came in instead. And obviously, as a new quarterback, seemed a bit more mobile as well, and took advantage of that on our defense. But after we stopped that 2-point conversion, we bottled him up all night too. So defense played great. Moi to Chef Rossi on that side of the ball, and then also Cody Lindenberg was back.
That was nice.
It was great.
Lindenberg was back.
That was good to have back.
Yeah, it's good to see him on the field.
But I do want to know, I think Justin Wally left the field with injury because I don't think I saw him again after he got a little knocked out, per se. But then also I give some love to the defensive line. Was it Ja Joyner got a fumble recovered?
Ja Joyner basically just took the ball from the quarterback.
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
We love that.
Dude's nuts. Ja's just... If Ja got a holding call every time he got held, games would be 5 hours long.
That is very true.
But I don't know what he needs to do to just get one. Like one or two would be nice. But I don't know.
Maybe someday.
He got one in Iowa, so I think there could be more, but we'll see. And then...
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah. And then we'll also lump in the special teams. Dragon was 2 for 3. For field goals, obviously the one was blocked. And then I think all of his kickoffs were kicked out of the end zone, except for one. Mark Crawford was okay.
Again, yeah. He was, he didn't lose us a football game.
No. Also,
Which is,
really quick to go back, the defensive line has been, just in general as a group, really, really good this year. Just to point out. They were terrible last year. They've been the most improved unit probably on the team.
Yeah, most improved.
Even just from the start of the season until now.
Yeah.
Big
completely.
improvement.
Kyler Ball's all over the place. JLR's you've got, basically 2 lines of guys that you can just rotate and not worry about a drop off at all.
Shout out to Winston Delalabadia, the D-line coach.
What a guy.
Yeah. Sorry. Just wanted to make sure they got mentioned.
I know, no worries.
No, they deserve it.
But
and I just don't want to talk about special teams because it makes me sad.
True. Special teams besides Dragon kind of poo-poo.
Fine.
Fine.
Not awful, but if Quentin Redding catches one more punt inside the 10, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah, I was about to mention. I was like, I don't want more of that. We want none of that.
And then the one where he goes diving out of bounds. Dude, what are you doing?
Why do you care? Why do you go for that?
If you don't catch that clean and it bounces back into the field of play, it's a free touchdown for them. All they have to do is pick it up.
Yeah, I don't know. This guy needs to be benched.
Don't do that. Yeah, I don't... that's the other thing. Sean Tyler fumbles the ball and, gets, locked away into, a cupboard that they keep back there for him. But Quentin Redding just, gets to just make every mistake, all the time. Like he
Even
has,
though Sean Tyler's there to do his job if they need him to.
yeah, I don't know, and like
Like that's the part that gets to me is like Sean Tyler does that, and
he
he
is
did
better
that
at it.
well. Just like, what are you doing, PJ?
Double standards per se.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. I don't know. Like
But yeah, a big
they did return a punt for an entire 10 yards though.
true.
So positive yards on one of them was like kind of cool to see them like actually trying to return a punt. That was fun.
But other than that, Quentin Redding still very big poo poo
Yeah.
in that situation. But yeah, no, I think again, like from what we're talking about here, obviously there's a lot of things we still need to improve upon in this win. But I think it was a great win. Still some good things to take out of it. But I gotta keep us on pace, boys. We are moving on to preview our next home game versus the Fighting Illini. It's going to be a 2:30 p.m. kickoff at Huntington Bank Stadium. We'll be airing on Big Ten Network for the TV broadcast, and obviously the Gopher Radio Network if you're listening on the radio. Currently, the Illini are 3-5 overall in the season, 1-4 in Big Ten play, leaving them at 6th in the West. They were on bye last week, so we'll see how they come back. But their most recent game was the week before, losing to Wisconsin 21-25 that day. It was a pretty close game. And then the odds changed from yesterday to today again. So Minnesota's -2 over under is at 42.5.
Well, Illinois will be without their best player, so that'll be interesting.
Who's their best player?
Drazon Newton. He's very good. He will be playing on Sundays next year.
And they don't have him.
Nope.
And they don't have that running back from, what was his name from last year?
Chase Brown.
Chase Brown, yeah.
Chase Brown, who is playing, well, not playing, but sitting on the bench on Sundays,
Was drafted, though.
was drafted, and is in the league.
And their quarterback
Who's
last
that?
season's gone too. They have a different quarterback this season. I forgot his name. I'm blanking on it already.
Yeah,
Even though
he's
I had
going to
notes.
be out for the first half because I think he had a targeting call last game.
All right. But I think from what I watched from like recaps and highlights from the Illini games, like obviously they're on like a losing skid. Again, being 1-4 in Big Ten play, like 5 losses this season so far out of the 8 games. I still think they're a scrappy team. Like that D line is still decent, and if you're like not doing your job, a la O line, they're go eat. Like they go get their sacks, get their tackles for losses, and blocking. Because like again, they'll play scrappy, and they got close to Iowa there. No, not Iowa, Wisconsin 2 weeks ago. Going down by 4 points. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think
I don't know.
we
I'm
shouldn't
just looking
be
at the-
sleeping at all. Like again, like we always had this every week, but I think this is not the game where we should be coming out with like a fourth quarter blowout, like we lose a fourth quarter lead like Northwestern, and then have that collapse again. Like this is not the game you want to do that again, please.
No, yeah, this team is very capable of doing that to you too. But yeah, I was just looking back at the hit that got Drazon Newton ejected for targeting. Certainly would like to see Ethan get one of those. That would be good. Pretty soft call.
Sure wouldn't hurt to get a call.
Pretty soft one, I'll say. But you take what's given to you.
Yep. But going on from there, any other notes here to make note of the Illini, or any stuff that you would think you want to see happen at this game? Because at this point, we bitch about what the offense needs to do to change their best. So, and PJ as well. So I'm supposed to be having anything to preview on our side to win the game.
I mean, I'm not worried about our defense at all in this game. I mean, this is obviously a very winnable game if you do the right things. We talking about our D line being the most improved. I think Altmaier is a little bit more of a scrambler than we're probably used to. Um, so just containing him, and he's good for about a pick or two a game. So, um, I mean, we know Chef Rossi's going to dial up some good stuff, disguise some looks. So I expect a pick or two here and contain the quarterback. And I think that's a good recipe to win.
Yep, and they had a little trouble with that during the last game, so it'll be very interesting to see. Other than that, I mean, on offense, more Daniel Jackson, please.
Would certainly be nice.
More Brevin Spanfor, more Corey Crooms. Crab is back too.
Yeah, Crab had a great game. Crab did like an amazing job blocking. He was just like bullying people out there. It was kind of funny.
He was.
Good for him.
No, but honestly though, he should be getting some touches though with the passing game.
Nah. I mean, he's like fourth in line, but whatever. Maybe even fifth. Like, throw Sean Tyler a swing pass. Don't run him into the freaking tackles. He's an outside runner slasher guy. Like, he's a big play guy. Like, why are we just like running him at a 380-pound defensive tackle and being like, just hold on to the football, dude. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you can do this, right? You can just run right into a tackle.
No, it's aggravating.
Going from there, then let's get into predictions. I'm just gonna give everyone a review of where we are in the standings. Soup leads the way with predictions. He is 7-1 this season so far. Griffin and I are tied at 5-3, and Wyatt is 6-2, sitting firmly in second. Mind you, there's no prize at the end of the season, so we didn't bet anything. No prizes, just funsies. Going into the game here, Griffin and I said losses, and then Soup and Wyatt had dubs. So start thinking about your score prediction. Again, the spread is -2.
Unbelievably backwards.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wish I could change my.
I know, me too.
Because what I think I put is always different than what I actually put.
Yeah. Again, these were preseason predictions, and we gotta stick by them.
Illinois really fell off. They were a completely different team last year.
Yeah. Very different.
I think you're being a little hard on yourself there, Griff.
But I'll go first. I'll stick with us losing, and I made this prediction when it was still -3. I think it might be -3 at other betting sites and boards, but I said the Gophers lose 18-21. But if you win, I can see that totally flipped. So who wants to take the next prediction?
What did you say the over-under is for this one?
42.5. I'm taking the under.
I'm going to go... Oh, man, I don't know. Because, I don't want to give them that many points. I think the Gophers will score. I mean, they just put up good points. I don't think that Michigan State defense is that bad. So, I don't know. Give me 24-10. Gophers, whatever.
All right.
I don't know. I want to predict them to get to 30, but 30-10 just feels like a lot for us right now,
It does. All right,
I
just don't feel like we would try to do that.
All right, this leaves Wyatt and Griffin.
I'll jump in here. I'm gonna stick with that 24. I like that number. I'm gonna give Illinois a little bit more here. I'm gonna give them 20.
Joe Rossi hater. Joe
call
Rossi
it-
hater.
We're gonna call it 24-20.
Golly.
I
Okay.
just here's the thing. I don't know. I don't expect Joe Rossi to play poorly, but like what happens when the special teams have a complete disaster and points get scored that way?
I don't know. I don't think Illinois is doing anything special on their special teams right now.
Yeah, but you know,
You never
we
know
are certain
the
we
way.
are certainly
I guess we're
doing
certainly
things
capable of letting them. So
the opposite of special on
I
our
thought you were
special
going to
teams.
go with like defensive touchdown or something.
Oh, defensive touchdown I could see as well, but you know, I want to have a little bit of faith in Ethan. So, we'll say
Doesn't have to be
special
him.
teams.
Fumble,
Yeah, I suppose.
scoop and score. Who knows?
I'm going 24-20. Which
PJ
is
runs
the,
a flea flicker.
I think that's the first time I take the over all season.
Very true. All right, Griffin, you're last. What is your prediction?
Well, since I have to pick a loss, I think I'm gonna. Wyatt kind of took what I was about to guess. I was gonna guess 25-20.
You guys are. Just
Well, yours is
hating.
going the other way, though. You can't
I
say I
know.
just took what you were going to
So I guess
guess when you're guessing a loss.
I guess I'm a Rossi hater.
Truly a Rossi hater.
But again, preseason, we thought Illinois would be
Griffin's
good this year.
Canceled from the podcast.
Yeah, I really thought Illinois would be so much better. But
I think everybody did. Like, at least defensively, I thought they would be better.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect them to be world beaters on offense, but I expected them to, like, put up a fight defensively. They're giving up, like, 400 yards a game.
Yeah. But all right, that'll wrap this portion for the preview of the Gophers versus Illinois game coming up this Saturday, November the 4th. We're finally going into November, so stay warm, everyone. Games are getting colder. It's already winter, like mid 30s and below now, so stay warm. Anything else do you want to chat about before we end the night?
Oh, they officially said that Brian Ferentz is not expected to return at Iowa.
It sounds like Brian Ferentz has resigned his position.
Really?
Yeah, that's the rumor that I'm hearing is internally he resigned his position and is just finishing out the year. Because what else are they going to do? Get
He's
a
already
competent
resigned
offensive
internally?
coordinator?
Jeez.
Well, how?
Why would
how-
you do that and then call the rest of the year? You know what I mean? That seems kind of weird.
How far off his target do you think he is?
Oh, I
How
would
far-
think.
is
I
there-
can tell you.
Is there a tracker?
Yeah, of
There is a
course
tracker.
there is. What are you talking about?
Somebody get me the tracker.
He's going to score like 33 points a game the rest of the way.
And he's still got someone tough in the East, right?
I don't know.
Like they still got to play like a Penn State game, right?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't give a shit.
No, I don't really care either. I mean,
I don't care what's going on with Iowa. People are still replying to me about the Iowa game.
The
that we
DeJean, the Cooper
Yeah.
DeJean play that got called
played.
back.
People are still replying to me about that.
Did you
so-
see they called back the NCAA actually called back the targeting call on their defense though?
Whatever.
But other than that, like I was like, oh,
no
they
Floyd question mark.
yeah, I think they're just
Plus
pissed,
L
salty.
plus ratio. Plus no pig.
Hashtag
plus no
petty.
pig.
Yeah, I am. Come at me.
I will not. I'll leave someone else to come at you because
Alright.
that's just not my wheelhouse.
Let's go. What is the climb to? I know it's called the climb to 325, but I don't know where. Climb to
It's somewhere on Twitter
325.
or X now. Again, worst rebrand ever.
Terrible rebrand.
Forever and still shall be Twitter.
All right, is this it?
I don't think he reached 100, unless he did, and I
No.
missed it.
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure. I think it has not changed since after the Gophers game, because they have not played.
Yes.
So, just trying to find that one. It's just real far back.
2 weeks difference now.
There it is. It is up to 156 right now, and he should be just over 200. I think
Oof.
rest of the way, it looks like he needs 33 points per game.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, I think he has seen the writing on the wall at this
Honestly,
point.
the best outcome would be it happening, like them putting up 40 on everybody for the rest of the year, and then bringing him back. That'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
If he hadn't already done the resignation bit, unless you're saying they bring him back in spite of his resignation.
Yeah, he's like,
that's-
you know what? Me and these guys, we really rallied together, and I put up 60,000 points the rest of the year, and I'm coming back. And then everybody goes crazy, and then he sucks still. That'd be
And
so funny.
everybody in Iowa cries a little bit, I think.
That'd be so good.
That would be so good.
Michigan's being weird. Jim Harbaugh is just saying some weird stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that.
he's talking about
But is
corn
just
today.
saying some weird stuff.
Yeah, he's just talking about
That's
corn today. It was weird.
Classic.
Yeah, today he said, someone asked him, Jim Harbaugh says Michigan football is like field corn instead of house plant.
Oh my god.
House plants, they have their functions.
What?
They can be beautiful in the home. They can bring great beauty and value to a home. But the field corn, just drop a seed in a crack of sidewalk and it'll burrow down and come up with energy. Then rise up in a stalk-like fashion and start producing.
Has he been
quote.
talking to Aaron Rodgers about the drugs that he's using? Because maybe he can get him in contact with Kirk Cousins.
I don't want to hear anyone make fun of PJ ever again for saying weird stuff.
Yeah, that one's a little fucking weird. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
like
I mean,
PJ's got some,
I mean,
some
PJ.
mantras and stuff.
Yeah,
but
PJ has mantras
geez.
as like it's true words to live by for him. But with Jim and Aaron Rodgers, I'm like, what the hell are these guys saying?
Yeah, Jim's. I don't know. All that stuff is still going on too.
Oh yeah.
So, I don't know. It's hard. College football is really fun. Yep. I have another great Brian Ferentz stat for you if you want it.
What is the stat?
Always.
In his last 5 seasons as Iowa's offensive coordinators, the Hawkeyes threw for fewer touchdowns, 50, than Joe Burrow threw in his senior year at LSU.
Oh my god.
Over 200 college QBs have thrown for more touchdowns in a single season than Iowa has since 2020.
My goodness.
That's pretty bad.
I'll miss him.
Yeah.
True. We are gonna miss the low scoring offenses of each season.
Yeah, God forbid they get a good offensive coordinator. That'd be really bad for us.
Totally.
That's like the best part of this is that's what their fans don't realize. It's like we all realize the problem here, and you guys just haven't done anything about it. So
Well, I think their fans even realize that he's the problem now. But like the school doesn't realize that that's the issue.
No, it's Kirk Ferentz not realizing that 'cause he was to run that offense old school.
no, it's because it's his kid, and he just doesn't want to fire him.
That too.
Yeah. Which means the school's got to do it. And
I wonder which one of his kids will get the job next.
That I could honestly see that happening, but I don't know if he has more kids.
I mean,
Does
it's
he?
Iowa.
Well, we shall
Yeah.
see. But great to end on shitting on Iowa. Love it. But for everyone watching and listening to OPA Podcast, thank you so much for listening and watching to episode 72. We will be back next week to recap the Illinois game and preview for Purdue for the next week. But other than that, have a great week and stay warm, and we'll see you guys next time. I'm one of your hosts, Jason O, along with Soup.
Throw the ball to Daniel Jackson until they can stop him.
And Griffin.
See ya.
And Wyatt.
Oh.